So when did you have a shift in the challenge that changed everything you had known about your cycle?
Probably because I started the challenge with my period in Hanoi, if I'm not mistaken.
Mhm.
So I think that by the time that I got into, let me see, what would it be? Maybe like day 9 of the challenge or so. So maybe like by the waning, like around, oh, okay, this is done. I got this. And so having that like excitement and the awareness during that time, like a week into the challenge, I knew what I was doing. It was fun. I understood it more.
Mhm.
And I think I was just, there was more, there was a part of me that was like, all right, like just be 100% you. At first I was a bit timid. I was like,
Mhm.
oh, I'm making these videos, they're on the internet, like I don't know, but then it was like, I like it, these videos are fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
so around like day 9,
yeah, so you really relaxed into the process.
I did, I was more aware of what I was doing,
Mhm.
like from all angles too, not just the Alexa, but like just everything.
Yeah. And you said that was when the shift happened. But what was the shift like mentally or emotionally that changed everything you had known about your cycle?
Oh, because I wasn't aware of the follicular and the luteal phases, like ever. Like nobody taught me that. It was not my dad certainly did not talk to me. I don't even, to be honest, if I were to ask my dad if he knows what the 4 menstrual cycles is, I don't know if he knows. He might know, and maybe he just didn't teach me because he was afraid to bring up the topic. I have no idea. But just knowing all 4 cycles and where I am emotionally, mentally, spiritually, etc., really helped me like elevate to a different level and a different connection of my own sexuality,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
because I was only aware of menstruation and ovulation. That was all I knew. Like for 35 years, that's all I knew. There
Yeah.
was that was it. And so it was like a real game changer. And like I said before, I was like, kind of wish I had known this as a little girl. It probably would have made a lot like life just easier,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And
because
what's
I would understand the energies.
yeah, for sure. For sure. And what surprised you about your phases?
Like I didn't realize that I was super busy like right after my period. Like I did not know that like follicular phase was when I'm just like boom. Because I always just was aware of my ovulation, and either with my ovulation, I'm like, yay.
Mm-hmm.
But just that productiveness, and it could be because I was in my luteal phase, and so I'm just kind of like, I'm gonna get my period. I want to stay at home, and then I'm menstruating, so that's its own journey. Um, and then it's like, yay, like a burst, and so that I think was like really really important for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And what age do you wish you had done this challenge?
Fuck, man. Maybe by like when I was like 16 or 17, just really, really young.
Mhm.
Because I lost my virginity when I was 16. And then I did contraceptives. So I got the Depo-Provera shot because I didn't want to have a baby. So before I made the conscious decision that I wanted to no longer be a virgin, I got the the birth control period, so it stopped my period. And so
Mhm.
I wish, because and then I was like sick and I didn't like life, and that was the only time I've been on my period. I mean, sorry, on um contraceptives for over 30 days. I was on it for like, I think 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
And then I realized I didn't like it because I was unhappy and my body was just like, I'm like this developing human that needs to menstruate and I'm blocking my own body. And so had I been aware of the importance of your menstrual cycle and why you should not stop it and um I wish that would have been, because there was a lot. I remember that period of my life and I was just very depressed and unhappy and I didn't understand why, but it would probably have to do because I wasn't having my period.
Mm-hmm.
And I had, all these hormones and all this stuff in my body that's essentially poisonous.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And when you first started the challenge, you had a why for why you were doing it. You said you had a few reasons actually, but one of them that came to mind was like you've never meticulously tracked your energies every day, and what's happening in your body, in your mind, for 28 days. Do you feel that you fulfilled this?
I definitely did. I definitely feel like I fulfilled it because I was able to understand where I am and my energy level. And so now, for example, last week when I was in Hanoi and I was going through the motions, I was aware of why I was experiencing that, but I was able to take it, embrace it, nurture myself, and respect myself enough to allow myself to be in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
I think prior to that, I would have not understood why it was happening. And then I would have probably just sabotaged that feeling. Like I would not allow myself to really express it. I would have might allow maybe like 5 minutes and then like that's enough. Like just ignore it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I grew up with my dad and we don't talk about feelings. We don't talk about we talk about a lot of things, but there's a lot we also don't talk about.
Yeah.
And so for me to like allow myself to cry and these are kind of like new.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Really tapping into that femininity side of yourself. Your dad probably
Oh,
gave you so much masculine, which is great. You need that, you need the balance of both.
exactly. Like the feminine energy is like I always only had male friends. Like I've always had very few female friends. And then like I come to Da Nang and it's like there's so many awesome women. And it's kind of like I want female friends. And just having female friends that are close to me, but also understanding, like you said, my own feminine energy and what my femininity means to me, which
Mm,
is something I had never asked myself.
yeah. And do you feel closer to your feminine intuition now?
Definitely a lot closer. I feel like I've sparked an interest in that for myself.
Mm-hmm.
And just being able to express my femininity and my sexuality with a higher version of like a higher, like not my ego, but just fully present and owning it and really moving forward with it.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think before there was a lot of ego just because I didn't know anything else. But now that I know, I'm like, oh, okay, like this is just, go with the flow. This is you.
Yeah. Cool. And any final thoughts or feelings you'd like to share?
Thank you. I really love the challenge. It was really awesome. It was really great. There were so many areas of my life that were tapped into that I hadn't shared with anybody, and so many good memories that like just arose from having these conversations with you. And I mean, like I said, like I honestly wish that like a little me would have had this, because while my dad and I talked about my period always every month, I mean, we had to. It was always about the products,
Mm.
or like, do you need a Tylenol? We didn't talk about the feelings. We didn't talk about anything. We talked about like just like the bare anatomy and what you need when you're on your period. But that like nurture, that compassion, that like staying at home, that wanting comfort. Like I didn't have that. And so I think that if I had Alexa when I was a little girl, like maybe I still wouldn't have the nurture, but I would feel like, oh, like
Yeah.
just like that little awe moment. Or that like that feminine support, which I obviously lacked.
This is the Alexa, Where is My Period 28-day challenge.